Hey, how's it going, everybody? Ben Axelrod, Nick Camino coming to you following the Cleveland Browns 26-6 Week 3 victory over the Chicago Bears. Having some video difficulties today, but wanted to get at least an audio video up for you to give you guys our takes for the game. And Nick, let's start right there. What's your big take from today's Browns win?
Well, Ben, I think the thing that stuck out to me most, and I just said this on Channel 3 a little bit ago, was it didn't take too much of a sweat, at least from a fan perspective or from us watching, where it seems like a lot of times when the Browns play, whether it's a good team, whether it's an inferior team, it always seems like we're sweating it out. I mean, a couple of weeks ago against the Houston Texans, it was like, okay, this probably shouldn't be this difficult. And it was for a little while. The Browns trailed in that game. But, today it really felt like, hey, I know they go into halftime only up 10-3. And at one point they trailed in the game today, but for the most part, you never really felt threatened by the Bears, and that's a big credit to the Browns. I mean, I thought they outplayed them even when the score was close, and to me, the outcome really showed that this team has grown a lot. So it was nice not having to sweat one of these out. It really felt like the Browns got this done with relative ease at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's interesting. You and I talked heading into that Week 1 matchup against the Chiefs, and just talked about how that margin for error when you're playing against a team as talented as the Chiefs is so small. I think the Browns are at a point now, and this is not a point that I can really remember the Browns ever being at in my lifetime, is the Browns are at a point now where, at least against these inferior teams like the Texans last week and the Bears this week, I think they kind of have that margin for error on their side. We saw them play, not so great offensive football against the Bears today. We saw them struggle offensively at times against the Texans last week, and yet you look at it all together, they come out of both of these weeks with double-digit wins, and I think that speaks to the talent level on this team. And I think today that's what stood out, was the Browns were just the more talented team, and that was certainly the case when the Bears had the ball, and Myles Garrett was wreaking havoc in the Bears backfield. And I think that's just for me, that's my takeaway from this game, is that the Browns are at a point now after 3 weeks, they're 2-1. They lost to the one team we thought they'd lose to. They beat the two teams pretty handedly that we thought they'd beat, and they did so in convincing fashion. And so the Browns are right where they're supposed to be at this point, 3 games into the season. And now where I think this gets interesting is now looking ahead. These next 3 weeks are this is one of the tougher stretches, I think, on the Browns schedule. They go to Minnesota next week. Minnesota right now is playing a pretty good game against the Seattle Seahawks. That's a very talented offensive team who the Browns may have to keep pace with. The week after that, they go to Los Angeles to face Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who just beat the Chiefs today. And then they come back and host Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals at First Energy Stadium. So, the Browns have done what they were supposed to do, but now I think we get into a stretch here where maybe there's a couple of toss-ups ahead of the Browns. So it's going to be really interesting to see, but we'll certainly have you covered on WKYC Channel 3 and on WKYC.com for all the latest on your Cleveland Browns. Thanks for listening.